Flight Simulator 2020 finds itself in a very unusual position, and one that is unique among all other flight sims. It's a sim that is appealing to a broad audience, which includes simmers as well as gamers. The real question then is, can it live up to the hopes and expectations of both audiences? Hi, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to another video on Flight Simulator. The stunning trailers released back in June of 2019 grabbed the attention of gamers and simmers all over the world. With the Xbox trailers sitting at nearly 6 million views and the IGN trailer at close to 3 million views, it's pretty obvious that something in there is appealing to a lot of people. It seems pretty obvious to me at least that the Sims graphics are a huge part of that appeal. A massive open world, a full-scale Earth, realised on a level of detail never before shown in a game. And that isn't hype, it's a reality. And that right there is something that both simmers and gamers alike will find extremely attractive. It's good news for Microsoft and Asobo Studios, because it means a Flight Simulator will likely be a big seller. But it also opens up a huge can of worms for a number of different reasons, and in this video we'll get into a few of those. The main issue then could easily be argued that there is a vast difference between what the two different audiences of this title actually want. Simmers will likely be looking for a realistic long-term experience, one which they can support with hundreds if not thousands of dollars in hardware and software add-ons. Gamers, on the other hand, generally tend to have a far wider focus, often looking for a shorter term but highly enjoyable experience straight out of the box. Yes, I've been very generalised with those descriptions, but I'm sure you get my point for the most part. And that is, basically any title that is aiming to appeal to both of these audiences has a huge amount of work cut out for it. It's not going to be an easy task, simply because the expectations of both audiences are very, very different. Now, as an example of this, I've seen some questions in my comment section from people asking these particular things. What do players do in this game? What do you do other than flying? Will there be unlocks and leveling up? Now, these might seem like silly questions, and in some areas they have generated the meme Microsoft Flight Game. But let's face it, for the vast numbers of gamers that have never touched a flight sim, these are perfectly reasonable questions, especially when we see the Flight Simulator 2020 is showing up on the Xbox Game Pass. Yet conversely, for many long-term simmers out there, these are going to come across as extremely frustrating questions. After all, no simmer in their right mind wants levelling up or unlocks in their sim. What those questions do, though, is highlight a dissonance between expectations. Generally speaking though, Microsoft and Asobo have done a pretty good job of managing expectations. However, it needs to be kept in mind that Microsoft Flight Simulator is being marketed on a gaming platform. The Xbox generally isn't known for its sims, so this is certainly something a little bit unusual. What this means for the uptake and retention of the audience, only time will tell. Now, from what's been shown so far, and also in my own opinion, Flight Simulator 2020 will, without a doubt, offer a huge amount to long-term simmers. And if Microsoft manage to stick to their aims here and support the title into the long-term future, then simmers are going to be well set. For gamers, I suspect the story will be somewhat different. And reading between the lines of Microsoft's press releases and interviews, they are well aware of that. Hence the details that the title will be very accessible. A quote from the gaming website Polygon on that particular subject. The stated goal of Microsoft Flight Simulator isn't just to reinvigorate a nearly 40-year-old franchise for a new generation, it's to expand its audience, casting the net wider than ever before. Part of that is multiplayer, of course, but developers aren't quite clear on how that will be implemented just yet. Another factor is console compatibility. Previously, hardcore flight simulation has been the domain of PC owners. Making the game run on Xbox One and offering it as part of Xbox Game Pass expands its audience significantly. Developers tell me that accessibility is an important factor. For that reason, Flight Simulator will be playable with a regular Xbox controller and the Xbox Adaptive Controller. Already then, Microsoft appear to have achieved the early parts of that goal, as they have certainly captured the attention of a wider audience. The trick will be retaining that audience whilst at the same time pleasing the simmer audience. The beautiful worldwide scenery will certainly go a long way to achieving that. The drop-in and drop-out play and flying that Microsoft have discussed in their videos, and which was also mentioned in the same Polygon article, will also add legs to how long gamers will enjoy the title. Now, all that said, and personally speaking here, I suspect that one of the key ways of retaining players is going to be missions. There's no details yet on this, but frequently updated wishlist on the feedback snapshot often cites both missions and a career system as top desires for the sim. We do know from previous alpha patch notes that Flight Simulator 2020 has been updated with at least one mission, the Sedona Landing Challenge, but as yet nothing beyond that has been shown or discussed. But it does seem highly likely to me, simply by virtue of existing on the wishlist and by the fact that Microsoft have been pretty good at managing expectations, that anything on the wishlist is likely to be included in the sim sooner or later. A mission and career system then would make for a lot of sense. It fits the concept of a sim after all, and is something that would appeal to both audiences. Like many, I'm curious to see how all this is going to play out. It's possible that the upcoming closed beta may offer more insight into what to expect from this particular area. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this subject. Do let me know in the comments section. Do you feel that the sim will be able to deliver enough for both simmers and gamers alike, or does it risk being either too hardcore or too watered down? Is it a balance that any flight sim can realistically achieve? If you'd also like to join a discussion over on my Discord server, I'd love to see you there. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.